double connecting one pair here, another pair here, another pair here, and beyond the screen. And the most surprising, rather, you can say the debatable case is the spectral index here. This is one Rayleigh lobe. Don't trust this. This is nothing sacred about it. But this one, 75 again, with 74 megahertz as well as whatever is the detection, and 325 and NVSS, we are getting all this flatness. And 19% polarized from NVSS picture only. So that's why there is preliminary result that we already have multiple wavelength GMRT images. We want to establish why this is flat. This is also flat. This is there in 3 episodes really. And these are the boxes are the clusters confirmed spectroscopic members, distribution of photogenic members of the cluster. This distribution you can guess, they are not actually like a merging cluster. There is no distribution like that. And the Rayleigh lobes are so 1.3 megaparsec separation. So why this kind of objects are there and why they are rare? What is happening there around it? So for that flatness thing and the thing, I rather named it like in the news, I named it like spiral host episodic radio galaxy tracing cluster accretion to be really bit catchy. This is the host galaxy. They really look like spiral, and there is near UV emission as well as far UV emission is extended. And this is the new result from Subaru spectroscopy. Spectral lines you can see from the one side of the disk, other side of the galaxy is disk. H alpha, N2, N2, on the other side again. So from the nuclear spectrum, we see light difference N2 and H alpha difference. We are trying to figure out what is really the difference causing this. This is an example image only. Sorry, I forgot to quote which is the source. A Canadian website, I guess. And this is the rotation curve we are getting. It's very fast rotating disk. Huge, star forming, fast rotating disk must be having a very big massive dark halo as well. So why this kind of galaxies exist at all? In nearby universe we don't see. This is the X-ray image from XMM. Just a few days back sent this. And this is the cluster center, not the Pekka, which is the brightest cluster galaxy actually. The X-ray emission is not centered there, the diffuse emission. It is somewhere here where the cluster center is, where most of the early type galaxies are situated and they are confirmed spectroscopic members of the cluster. So, but what is clear here is from the Rayleigh lobe side, which is more polarized, bright and nearby to the radio galaxy, this side there is some excess radio emission, excess X-ray emission, not on the other lobe side. There is probably more gas or some filamentary structure, which is supplying gas. Accretion process, maybe compressing, maybe aligning the magnetic field properly, maybe reviving it as well. That's why there is flatness. So with XCT, the 2-meter telescope in Himalayan Chandra telescope, we followed the same structure also. And this is one member, we got better image, this is HSD B-band image. This galaxy really looks like falling towards this. Such objects are actually known when they first time fall into the cluster, they have a blue star forming edge at the top, leading edge, and there's a train-like thing. So the most famous, and I like the most this result. And I want to rather think this kind of large diffuse emission picture I want to see, not just Rayleigh lobe structure. I want to understand more about the larger scale environment of this radio galaxy. They are, what I call is actually like dye-injecting bullets. Whatever happening in the large scale dynamics, you can figure out because of this kind of plasma has gone there and there is tracing the dynamics there. They are shortly, few hundred million at most, but there is no other way of figuring out otherwise so far. So, from the TGSS fast release, I got so many interesting, so this looks like a cell. This is also probably one, double like thing, Rayleigh, while moving and merging groups. I found many, I want many to actually find them. So let me dare and do a stupid comparison. When I search in ADS with GMRT in the abstract, I find this many publications, with VNA this many. I cannot do better than this, but this is not a nice comparison, but I should do it and go ahead. So to solve this problem, there has to be many more astronomers in India who will be using GMRT. Because of outsiders, there are not many publications, but insiders should also continue using it. So you should be having more PhD students there. They do PhD and become scientists and use GMRT. But it's probably not a viable solution, as written by this director of ISC, Professor Balram. That is, unless we do our statistics properly, there's not a really more PhD is a correct solution to go ahead. But government is funding a lot of money. This 30-meter telescope, 12-kilometer array, LST, lot of money is coming. This is the growth model. We have gone far from individual excellences. India is leading, on this phase rather, we should be having a lot of development in the forefront research. So what is the cutting edge, what is the leading edge or competitive edge of India I thought of? And I doubt it's by, if you combine the quality and quantity both, it is not science, it is not technology, it is not money, and this one I find the best. Largest pool of science and technology trained manpower, largest number of mobile, computer, internet, all learned in English, largest pool of IT companies and engineers. How to combine this for the research? And thought of let me use those people, all this competitive edge, and let them start few more speckles. I know what can I do. I don't know how to do it, but is it really possible? This is SDSS picture at NVSS and FAST. We don't need a largest telescope to detect this kind of thing. They are already there in the data. So can we actually find more? Yes. Listen to Jaydeep Bakshi's talk. He has another example like speckle. So it is not an oddball. It's probably telling something that we don't see that often in the nearby universe. It's probably a bias. And they may be there in the high G universe more. You know that there are a lot more quasars. Where are they now? They must be sitting in a big massive black holes at the centers of big galaxies. Bigger spiral galaxies formed early on. Today, less massive spiral galaxies are forming. So it is very likely the stars forming radio galaxies. They are probably more common at higher redshift, but we have to find them. If you go too far, you cannot see the structure there. But at least whatever is the nearby universe, you should be able to spot it. Suppose while playing soccer in the playground, I have lost my golden ring, and I cannot find myself by telescope or microscope. Let me say 100 school students find it. That is my goal now. That is citizen science. So this is the farthest radio galaxy. You can spot in HST, that's free data. In NVSS, 70 millijansky, not close to noise certainly. In TGSS, 870 millijansky. Can you find lot more high-G galaxies by using the simple logic? You find a jet, you find a band jet, you don't see in optical data. As simple as that. You don't see in infrared data. As simple as that. Let them supply this kind of data to the professional to follow it up. So my target is certainly make use of TGSS, the best sensitivity and resolution combination to detect this kind of diffuse, old plasma, relic lobe, or diffuse emission kind of thing. So this is comparison. I don't go to detail. This different surveys with LOFAR and GMRT, and compared to sensitivity and resolution, it will still have a competitive edge for decades to go. So find many sources and like many galaxies there. And many people, if I want, this is the example which giving me the confidence to go ahead. That is Juniverse project. 800 million people, 800,000 people are involved. So can I do them? I don't quite like this way. What is my problem is she is getting famous, she is getting boost in life, and let that thing spread to many poor people. And citizen sciences solves the big data problem of scientists, but I want to solve the problem of the people as well. They are not laymen, their skill has to be acknowledged properly, their skill has to be used properly, so that they grow up in their life, their academic life at least. So this was the NASA news from me, and this was the Time magazine also published in the, and my interest is this number. Who were in the Time article, who have read, who have liked it, who are going to share it. This showed me another way how to go ahead and catch those people who are reading my kind of research, so that they are interested and they can be contacting me. If it is traditional media, I cannot contact them, but in social media, I can contact them because they like this. So India is paying with Large Hadron Collider as well. Whatever you do, you are paying for the science research. That is how I talk to the public. I come from a very backward region of Western Orissa, which is famous for KVK district. People die in hunger. You don't have infrastructure. We have this best infrastructure here. People study like this. No roof. People have to be given food in the school, so they come to school. How do we combine all this thing and go ahead? That was my question. So, Planning Commission of India, who plans for 5-year things, they define our future language. Faster, sustainable, inclusive growth of the country. Scalable growth model we have to develop, and I think what is my job is education, research, and media I can combine. That is social media at least. So building SCA needs cultural change. Yesterday I heard from Diamond Stock, and doing science is my belief to handle this big data to need that kind of cultural change. PhD doing, it's not my way. I don't like that. It's not scalable, not faster, not sustainable. Too many PhD will create problem. Not inclusive, it doesn't include everybody. Public collaboratory, work over the weekend from home. A software engineer who wants to like it can go ahead. A school teacher doesn't have anything, just internet. Let him go ahead. I want to connect with them. Who wants to work? So not citizen science, as a public collaboratory, I want to start. Citizen science of the problem astronomer, I already said this. I need a modified approach to address the people to the bottom of the pyramid. They can access only internet. Let whatever be. Let maybe that they don't have internet at home, but they will go to an internet cafe over the weekend and use it. That is what happens. In India, internet is provided by telephone lines. So almost every village is getting. Telephone line is rather more rare now, and mobile phones are more cheaper. People are uploading images, and I comment them by my mobile phone as well, and they modify. So it becomes a faster because they supply a sample for me. It becomes sustainable because I am not telling them to go and do PhD, look for an astronomy job. Whatever the job they can find at home, maybe so they have a family problem, they have to stay in the same city. Let them do the job, but over the weekend they can continue. So it is inclusive with poor people, rich people, technologically, financially, resource-wise, everybody rich, as well as just internet rich. They are able to contain to be. So socio-economic geopolitical justice via astronomy interest is kind of big wordings I have. But let me go ahead slowly and try to address this thing. So what I feel by this kind of a project I am starting, I am really dedicating GMRT to the nations like TGS as data releases and the social. So when my third news release was released, this discovery of this farthest star, which is debatable rather, the CFST and Subaru spectrum. In that release, I got the opportunity, I have to connect with the people again. And when I shared this my news in the social network, there are people who liked it. So I started just a single, the very modest start of what is Reddit Home has happened. Thanks, all I have 300 readers for your good wishes. Some asked me, sorry, forget about that. I have no idea it will make such news. If you have BSc, BE, MCA, any physical science degree, just help me. Be friend with me in Facebook. We can discover many more such fireball galaxies from Indian soil. And I just named it Real Discovery, Real Astronomy Discovery Sitting at Home. I didn't even think I will form a group. I just thought it was a process. And that I started. I believe from this process that first learn speaking English. Grammar you can learn later. First discover diamonds. Whatever skill you have, you can get the atomic number later on. First, I lost my Goldinger example I gave. We will train you. That's what I say. We will train you via this media and we will keep you connected. You will discover, then you get the credit for discovering whatever you have. We'll publish it, that is kind of saying in the language. So in 5 days, I collected 50 members. And then went ahead. I told them to simply start making red, green, blue RGB images from NASA Skyview. UV, 2 minutes. UV, optical and IR images. And this kind of nice images they can make. They make images, they describe it, I will give them the task later on. So many people, I qualify them with the RGB qualified members, a lot many, something like 460 now. And I started telling them that let's start searching for galaxies. There's something to start, simply start with Spectra. So in the same Facebook, actually, they upload an image from Skyview, UV, optical, IR, or radio, whatever combination I tell them, and they upload image, I comment there. I will comment there by describing what is the picture there. Now, Facebook is fine, you can actually perfectly, so whoever cannot, then I don't understand, I share the screen with them and share the data or the files with Google Drive and keep teaching them by sharing screen and video charts. And Govind's inspiration is always there. I got the selected people to talk to Govind, and they got inspired. They visited GMRT as well, and they presented 10 different posters in amateur professional conference. Sorry. So all these 16 members actually distributed all over India. 40% women, 50% undergraduate students, 50% unemployed. Actually, they are not students. Are the employed in a completely different field, not physics-related thing. And 40% of them are completely e-interaction. There is only screen interaction. I don't know them. And this is a growth rate that every day there are few people, 1 to 2 people are joining them. So there is continuous progress from April launch to this today. I am talking and I will leave this slide. So I will quickly say this result. Dead-low radio galaxies they have found, diffuse irregular structure. Interaction bridge also they have found in them. Double-double radio galaxies, plenty of candidate examples they have found. Slightly except rather. This is from pure PGSS contour map. There is elongated disk-like galaxies they have found. Star-forming disk actually they have found in radio galaxies. Relics or socks kind of thing, they have also some candidates. More beautiful example is the band lobe thing. They are finding megaparsec size possible filaments. And these are candidate examples. Other examples of microquasar has also been found. And these are the numbers, and women are actually marked U. And my professor and collaborators are with me, who will be helping me publish those results. And they are here. Chiranjeev Konar, you heard it before. Judith Proston, Oyama, and Stalin, Hardcastle, Daniel Espada, Sirothia, TGSSPI, and Su Changrin from Korea. And all the 10 posters they have put, I have put the link here in the PDF file. You can go through their pages. And I would rather simply say, please help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll start to say it's just good that you're trying to give something back and make a difference. So I wish you the best of luck with that. But you mentioned sort of like with the Times and people liking it, and you can find the people that you're looking for. That's sort of analogous to sort of a direct marketing campaign, if you like. And traditionally that leads to large numbers. So do you expect to be able to get enough people in that way to actually make a significant difference?
See, I know that I cannot get lot many people this way, but being not at the high position at the moment, social media work is the first thing I can start with, because I can get the interested members and let me experiment with whatever is the rule regulation I can define about this. Because controlling the crowd is a difficult task, because they don't know what is the working culture in research. They want to take the result and discuss with somebody else. So a lot of things I'm experimenting and yet to formulate what are the rules of the collaboratory, you can say. So before I go to the traditional media, go to the TV and I'll ask them people to join, I want to have a few hundred members and handle them together. And until I make a first publication, reference publication, I'm not going to big call. And I need people who will support me also. So it is just a starting at the moment. But I think I'm very encouraged that people are taking and they are getting an opportunity sitting in underdeveloped regions.
Any more questions? Okay, then let's thank all speakers from this morning's session.